It's Harms. We are here with Dave and Zach from The Revivalists. Fellas.
How's it going?
It's good, man. How's it going for you?
Whew. It's been a whirlwind.
Yeah, I would imagine right now is kind of a fun time, a little bit of anxious time.
A little bit.
There's
one
one
feels
song,
good, though.
Yeah, there's one song from the new record out. There's not a ton of information actually about the album out.
Yeah.
We'll talk some about that, or as much
Cool.
as you can say
Yeah.
today. But, man, I'm just curious. So, rewind to leading up to the release of the last album. How different has this experience been as opposed to releasing the last record? Because obviously quite a bit happened with the band in the last record.
Yeah, I mean, this experience, it's been, the main difference of this one has been like we were, afforded the ability to work with an amazing team of producers on this album. Like the last one we worked with, Ben Album, who's also an amazing. I don't want to take anything away from him. He brought that album to life for sure. But this one, it was just a little different in the aspect of, we got to work with Dave Cobb, Dave Bassett, a guy named Andrew Dawson.
Sure.
And they brought all these songs to life in a way that, I don't think that we might not have been thinking about in certain ways.
This one is much more anticipated by a wider audience and by commercial radio.
Absolutely, yeah.
Whereas our other one, we were still breaking into that format, pretty much.
As you're writing songs and as you're recording songs, does that come into mind? Do you, as you're progressing through a song, you're like, man, am I going to have to do some of the things, or is this song going to end up in some of the places that Wish I Knew You ended up? And is that in your head at all as you're kind of going through that process? Or am I going to have to play this as much? And if so, should I adjust it in this way?
That is a question that I've pondered in my own mind, just being an artist, and I think that it's something that I've never thought about consciously. I don't think about it when I'm creating the art. It's something that can be thought about after the song is done. So in terms of creating the art, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think that's just. I think that would be a falsity.
Yeah. I think you're right. And you know what? That's a specific way of asking this broader question. Were you more apt on this recording process to kind of get inside your own head a little bit because of the success of the last record? Try to match it in some way.
I think a little bit.
Which is, I think, pretty normal.
Yeah, I think that can happen. I will say that. I just try. I guess with writing these songs, I just kind of tried to just do what I've always done, and not think about that as much as possible, just because I think if you kind of get wrapped up in the expectations and, if, someone wants this and someone wants that, then you certainly lose yourself along the way, and that would be the biggest tragedy.
Well, just as an artist and just as a human being, since the last record came out, you have new experiences.
Yeah.
My guess is those experiences also made their way into the evolution of what you guys were creating. Is that a correct assumption?
Yeah, it's quite a bit of that.
Yeah, can you be specific about what that would be?
It's quite a bit of that. I like to hide a good bit of myself in the songs, and also take on certain characters. So in any given time, you never know what's what, and I like to kind of keep that mystery, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's good because, I don't know, I'm about that life.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's tricky though, man. If you are singing songs from the perspective of a character, but also singing songs from the perspective of yourself, do sometimes people, I'm sure, get the wrong idea, or they think this is about you when it's really not? And,
oh yeah, it's definitely happened.
But you like it?
Yeah. I mean, luckily I have amazing friends and amazing girlfriend, amazing family, and I can tell them, this is me, this is not me, this is that, this is it's all good,
Well, this is a terrible segue, but since you bring up friends, let's talk about all my friends.
All right, cool.
I'm
That's
sorry.
a great segue.
It's
actually.
a great one.
I feel like we should cut that
for you
right now. But All My Friends is the introduction of these new songs to the world.
Yeah.
Kind of our first taste of this new album. Kind of tell us the story of this song. Is it true that this song actually kind of started a little bit before the last album even came out?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us kind of the journey and the story of this song.
Okay, so I had the verses. I had those when I think I wrote those. Maybe I was 26, 27, somewhere around there. And I you know, never really had anything, you know, to put with them.
Yeah.
I'd brought a few things to the table, and it never really kind of came to fruition. And, you know, I'm kind of the school of thought, and Zach is definitely of this same school of thought, which is like, you kind of got to wait for the right moment for, like, you know, if you don't have the certain part for one song to get, you got to hold off.
Just be patient.
Don't just put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, you're listening to the verse, great verse, and then you get to the chorus, and it's like, you don't want the chorus to be the letdown or the verse to be, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I knew I had something good there, and I was just like, all right, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait. I'm going to sit on this, you know, and I'm just going to continue doing what I do. And fast forward 6 years later, you know, 7 years later, I'd written something down, the intro to the song and the bridge in a hotel room. And I was like, hold on here, you know, I'm thinking about maybe this could be, you know, a retrospective looking back on some of the, you know, the way I used to be, you know?
Sure.
So the working title was In My 20s initially, and you wrote that while you were in your 20s.
Exactly.
You brought it to, you did a session with Dave Bassett, and
Yep.
that's what happened with the song.
Exactly.
Wow. Cool.
Exactly.
Cool. This band is also very collaborative in the creating of this music, which is not the case with every single band. How does that help you guys with this song, and I guess with all of these songs?
Probably mostly in the wealth of material that we have, and also I think it adds a uniqueness with our sound and our instrumentation. You know? Yeah.
Did you write some in Malibu here in California?
Absolutely.
I mean, I know what is so inspiring about Malibu. Just in case anybody watching doesn't know, like, what does hanging out in Malibu and making art do for a guy like you?
I mean, I will say that it feels like you're in kind of this paradise. So like anything in the real world that's kind of like, you're kind of unleashed from that.
Sure.
Or anyways, that's how it felt to me. And it's, I don't know, it seems like a little bit of a dreamland, a bit, you know, a little bit.
It's easy to get stuck there.
You know, it's
easy to want to stay there forever.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can understand why Tom Petty's got a house, you know, had a house in the hills, you know. Like,
Absolutely.
I get it.
Was there anything that you guys were listening to in the making of this record that may have stood out? I know you're a big fan of the Arctic Monkeys record.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dave likes to ask his Alexa to play fart noises for him. So.
Is that a real I want that to be a real thing. I get the feeling it's a joke, but I desperately want that to be true.
No, it's true.
It's definitely true.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So Alexa's getting co-writing credits on the new Revivalists.
Credit, you know.
That's great.
Where were you listening? What have you been listening to?
The usual.
The usual?
I don't know.
I don't know what the usual is.
So
Yeah.
I will say that this band you've been listening to them too, Krungbin, came
Yeah,
out
cool.
in the past couple years.
I like
we
them a
we
lot,
caught
yeah.
them at the first time we saw them was at a festival in South Florida, Okeechobee Fest, and they were pretty much unknown at the time. That was one of their first festival gigs, and everybody was just kind of like, "Yo, who is this band?" That is like
Krungbin?
Krungbin.
They're very mellow, chill,
it's
sort
like
of loungy, like
vibe.
Yeah.
They're Thai funk, is what they say.
They're from Austin.
Definitely never listened to a Thai funk band before.
You need to
so
check them
they're
out,
the ones,
dude.
huh? Okay.
Yeah, I really dig them.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
I like this singer-songwriter Dan Byrne a lot. He's hilarious and awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, writing and recording songs is a big part of what this band does, but to really understand the full scope of the Revivalists, I guess you guys live. You have to go in person to kind of experience what this show is. It's a handful of dates scheduled for the fall. When do you guys kind of get out there and really kind of get in on the road?
For this album,
Now.
yeah, I mean we're still
Kinda
out there.
getting it.
We're getting,
Sure.
we're always
Yeah.
kind of getting it, but I think probably next year is like
Yeah.
big push.
Festivals.
Yeah.
Headlining shows.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Anything that we haven't seen that you're planning that you can tell us about for these shows?
Ooh,
Or
I mean,
or at least the presentation of this new music live. It's obviously a super exciting thing for a band to be able to play new songs. live.
We've added an additional drummer / percussionist
Cool.
within the last year.
Yeah,
He's become
I mean,
part of the family.
yeah.
I think you may potentially see, I don't know. We don't know exactly, but you may see some backup singers from time to time.
Nice.
The horn section,
Nice.
just basically the full brigade to really make it actually sound exactly like the record. Because these horn sections are 5 and 6 horns deep.
That's fun.
And some of these vocal sections are, 3 and 4 soul singers. So it's
that's fun, and it adds a layer that again, not a lot of bands can pull off, but when you can, it's a pretty special thing.
Thanks, man.
I wanted to ask one more thing, and well, I'll put it this way. I'm sure that there's a story that I have not asked about with the making of this record. Is there something that, as you've kind of gone through and answered questions about this song and album, you're like, man, I wonder why people aren't asking about this, because this is so fun and interesting about these last couple of years. Something that stood out to you, or something that people should know about this album, kind of going in and listening to it.
We're kind of at the beginning of this promotional engagement for this song, so we haven't had too much experience yet with the interviews. Where we could be like, why aren't people asking this particular question?
Okay,
But if there's something, I don't know, is there something
or if there's just a story that you want to tell from the
the
making of the record,
I mean,
it's okay if there's not,
really,
man. Absolutely. Some of the songs were written in Malibu, Nashville. Is that where a lot of it was recorded? Anywhere else?
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay.
Basically, like I would say, a little less than a half was in Nashville, and then a little more than a half. The other half was recorded in New Orleans.
Cool.
Yeah, we did Nashville with Dave Cobb, the producer. He did Chris Stapleton, Jason Isbell, Sturgill Simpson. All great records.
Awesome.
Brandy Carlisle. And then in New Orleans, we recorded with the LA-based producer Andrew Dawson, who's a longtime Kanye West collaborator.
Cool. Yeah.
And
do you have some good Kanye stories? I'm sure.
Everybody's got fun Kanye stories.
Exactly.
I will say that he doesn't blow up Kanye's spot. Other people that are good, that are in and out of working in Kanye's life, have some more amusing stories. Dawson is like the longest collaborator, so I think you probably
he doesn't kiss
get
and
that.
tell.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be like, Kanye's Kanye, man.
Kanye's Kanye.
Well
Cool.
put. Yeah, absolutely.
We also worked with Dave Bassett in New Orleans and Malibu as well, but also in New Orleans.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Well, fellas, we're stoked on All My Friends. We are very excited to learn and experience the record in due time when that comes. At the taping time here, none of that's been announced, so it's coming at some point. But honestly, we're just stoked, again, to see more from the Revivalists. You guys have worked hard for a long, long time. Success was not overnight for you guys. It was very much earned. And so now I just hope you're kind of enjoying the fruits of that success. And you
doing
see
what we
want to
do, man.
well.
So, yeah.
It's good, man. It's good. That's all you can ask for sure. Absolutely. It's Zach and Dave from the Revivalists.